First priest, present that registry. Officer Kananya Banya Hawada Banya Shala.
Kananya Banya Hawada Banya Shala.
Shalom, Yabasha Mashabakta.
Laya Shala.
Men of Israel and Magium. Upon Yakudam, turn to face the east. The Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. You can find it in Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 through 13. Abanaw, Shabbat Shemayim, Kadash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ma'aratazah, Kawah, Hayah, Bashamayim, the thunder now, the calm, cold, Yawam, Asalak now, Kabawath now, Kasalak now, Kabawath now, Wa'ah, Tabiyan now, Banasawan, Abol, Hawashah now, Mayan, Rad, Kaya, Lakah, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wahata Power, La'awalami, Amon. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Pray to bless Israel and the Hebrew. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Barak Lanao. Waya Shalom. Mahapaya. Sapari. Ba'Hashem Yahushua. Duwad Aman. In English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Bless us and Israel. And the school. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be it. Pray for the blessings in Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahushua. Wa Mayaka Allah. Wa Alahayim. Matazib Ya'ah. Alawak Yahan. Ha'alawakiyum. Hasaranyum. Hakwatazah. Yanyam,
Yanya,
Hakaya Yom,
Hakaya Yom,
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 Wahar Kwa,
Wahawa,
Yom,
Yom,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Wa'alaman,
Amen.
in English. Bless you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh,
and Yahushua,
and Yahushua,
and Michael,
and Mike,
and the angels,
and the angels,
commanding General Yohanan,
Commander General Yohanan,
the generals,
the generals,
the captains,
the captains,
the officers,
the officers,
the troopers,
the troopers,
and the sisters,
and the sisters.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahushua,
in the name of Yahushua,
thank you, so be it.
thank you, so be it.
Pray for the Hakat, the power of evil. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua,
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Babu Kusha,
Babu Shah,
the thunder now,
the thunder now,
Hakat,
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 La Rafa'ah,
La Rafa'ah,
Kol Makhalah,
Kol Makhalah,
Wakol Marwa,
Kol Marwa,
Hakat,
Hakat,
Latahar,
Latahar,
Hamat Zerayim,
Hamat Zerayim,
Hakat,
Hakat,
Lahakwiyam,
Lahakwiyam,
Hamathiyam,
Hamathiyam,
Hakat,
Hakat,
Arakua,
Arakwa,
Hatama Allah,
Hatama Allah,
Lagasham,
Lagasham,
Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Tawada Aman,
Tawada Aman,
in English. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahushua,
in the name of Yahushua,
please give us the power,
please give us the power
to heal,
to heal
all manner of sickness,
all manner of sickness,
and all manner of disease,
all manner of disease,
the power to cleanse the lepers,
the power to cleanse the lepers,
the power to raise the dead,
the power to raise the dead,
the power against unclean spirits,
the power against unclean spirits,
to cast them out,
to cast them out.
in the name of Yahushua,
In the name of Yahushua,
thank you, so be it.
thank you, so be it.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Allahayim.
Allahayim.
My fault, slacking. Psalms 121 first. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Al-Hahariyim.
Al-Hahariyim.
Ma'ayan.
Ma'ayan.
Yaba'ah.
Yaba'ah.
Azari.
Azari.
Azari. Ma'ayin.
Ma'ayin.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Shamayam.
Shamayam.
Waratazah.
Waratazah.
Al-Yathan.
Al-Yathan.
Lamawat.
Lamawat.
Regalka.
Regalka.
Al-Yarawam.
Al-Yarawam.
Shamarka.
Shamara.
Hana.
Hana.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yarawam.
Yarawam.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Yayashan.
Yayashan.
Shawamor.
Shamar.
Yasha'al.
Yasha'al.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamar.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazoka.
Tazar.
Al-Yad.
Arya.
Yamyaka.
Yamyaka.
Yawamam.
Yawamam.
Hashemash.
Hashemash.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yakaka.
Yakaka.
Wayirak.
Rayra.
Balayala.
Balayla.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamarka.
Yashmar.
Makal Rai.
Mara.
Yashamor.
Yashmar.
Athnapashka.
Athnapashka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamor.
Yashmar.
Taza Afka.
Taza Afka.
Wabu Wa'aka.
Wa'aka.
Ma'aita.
Ma'ata.
Wa'ai.
Wa'a.
Awulam.
Awulam.
In English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes to the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from the Lord.
My help cometh from the Lord,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy
The
soul.
Lord shall preserve thy going out
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in.
and thy coming in.
From this time forth
From this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Allahayim.
Allahayim.
Al-Damiyalaka.
Al-Damiyalaka.
Al-Takharash.
Al-Takharash.
Wa-Al-Tashukwat.
Wa-Al-Tashwa.
Oh. Kayahana.
Kayahana.
Awabyaka.
Awabyaka.
Yahama Yawan.
Yahama Yawan.
Ra'ash.
Rash.
Al-Aimaka.
Al-Aimaka.
Ya'irayamwa.
Ya'irayamya.
Sawada.
Sawada.
Wayatha.
Wayatha.
Ya'ai Tazawa.
Ya'ai Tazawa.
Ar.
I.
Tazapawanyaka. Yazakor, Sham Yasha'al, Iwada, Kaya, Noah, Ipazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Aliyaka, Barya, Yakarathwa, Ahalia, Adawam, Wa Yashamai Alayom, Mawa'ab, Wa Hagarium, Gabol, Wa Imawan, Wa Imalak, Palasha, I'm Yashabia, Tazawar, Gam Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya, Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadian, Kasiyah, Sara'ah, Kayabian, Banakor, Koyashwan, Nashamadwa, Bayan, the Wakazabak, Wakatazol, Menai, Ko, Nasaya Kamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayara Shah, Lanawa, Na'awat, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagoga, Kakwatch, Lapanya, Rawaka, Ka'ash, Thaba'ira, Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Thalahat, Haryam, Khan, Tharadapma, Basa'irika, Wabasa, Wapathka, Thabalaham, Hala'ah, Hanyaham, Palawan, Waya, Makwashwa, Shamka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Waya, Kaparwa, Waya, Abarwa, Waya, Da'ira, Kaya, Atha, Shamka, Yahweh, Labanka, Ayawan, Ko, Harat, in English. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace. And be not still. O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee, have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation. That the name of Israel may be no more remembered. So they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. Of Moab. And the Hagarines. Cabal. And Ammon. And Amalek. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Assyrians also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kishon. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb. And like Zed. Yea. All their princes as Zabak. And as Zalmunna. Who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the sun before the wind.
As the fire burning for wood.
As the fire burning the wood.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on
Fire.
so persecute them with thy tempest.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Lord.
O Lord.
Let them be confounded and troubled forever.
Let them be found in trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
That men may know that thou,
That men may know that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
art the Most High,
thou art the Most High,
over all the earth.
over all the earth.
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and earth,
and all things living.
and all things living.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name Yahweh
in the name of Yahweh,
listen to us now,
listen to us now,
right now.
right now.
Send evils and curses,
Send evils and curses,
and punishment and destruction,
and punishment and destruction
to the heathen,
to the heathen
that speak against us,
that speak against us,
thy prophets,
thy prophets,
the teachers,
the teachers,
the princes,
the princes,
the priests,
the priests,
the Israelite brothers,
the Israelite brothers,
and the school.
and the schools.
Send evils and curses,
Send evils and curses,
and punishment and destruction,
and punishment and destruction
to the heathen,
to the heathen,
and shake loose,
and shake loose
the treasure of the rich of Israel,
the treasure of the rich of Israel,
that refuse to give to the school,
that refuse to give to the school,
force their riches,
force their riches,
to enter into thy sanctuary.
into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses,
Send evils and curses,
and punishment and destruction,
and punishment and destruction
to the Edomites,
to the Edomites,
and the nations,
and the nations,
and their drug dealers,
and the drug dealers,
their court system,
and court system,
prison system,
prison system,
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood,
all the governments of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church,
the Roman Catholic Church,
the Pope,
the Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity, Egyptology,
Egyptology,
Melissa, Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
Skinheads,
Posse Comitatus,
Posse Comitatus,
the gay movement,
the gay movement,
the lesbian
the
movement,
lesbian movement,
spies,
workers
of witchcraft,
of witchcraft,
NASA space program,
NASA space program,
Army,
Army,
Navy, Air Force,
Marine,
Wall Street, open up the internet,
open up the internet,
and the airwaves, cable access channel, and the radio channel, convict the spirit, any of thy people, that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction, of all the heathens, that stand in the way, that try to stop us, from broadcasting your words, across the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro, through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief, and the murderer. Let your house shine. Michael and Gabriel, come down with flying saucers,
Come down with a fire sauce.
and punish all the heathens
Punish all the heathen
that come up against us,
that come against us,
as we speak thy word,
as we speak thy word,
cause it to be known by all.
cause it to be known by all.
That is the angels that have done it.
That's the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media,
Cause it to spread through the media,
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake it not coming.
Cause it to shake that coming.
In the name of your house shine.
In the name of your shine.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
South to the front. Individual Yeshabi, be seated. It's like Yeshabi Young. Shalom, brother. Shalom. Shalom, Israel. We are the ISUPK, the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are led by Commander General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any organization. Israel, pay your tithes, man. Clap it up for the fire weekend. Clap it up for the fire weekend. Just got back. Chicago. It was glorious. The water to all the brothers that was with us, that put in all that work throughout that entire weekend. Shit was not easy on us. Every time that we hold the fire weekend, anytime that any zone holds any event, the work is on that zone. So the work was on Chicago, it was on Milwaukee, and we spread that with Detroit and St. Louis and Minnesota. Everybody got some stripes in. Everybody. I was mad at anybody that I saw in the Midwest that did not sweat. I was sunburnt and shit. I don't know if anybody saw the pictures afterwards. I was in my forehead. Looked like the sun was just sitting there all damn day, man. All goddamn day. But we made it through. We'll be back for another one. So this is ISUPK Milwaukee coming to you live with the Sabbath service. We're going to be going in the Hebrew from Ezekiel chapter 6, starting at 15, the first 7 verses, transitioning back into the English. We'll break it all down, and we're going to call the next brothers up and repeat that process a few times. How's your Hebrew been, huh?
I'm here, sir.
All right. Let's check it out.
16.
Starting at 15. Six and 15. Any questions, comments, or concerns in the room or in the chat? Feel free to ask away. And whenever you're ready, brother. It's like you good.
What was the chapter again, sir?
6 and 15. Ezekiel, it's like I said Ezekiel? No, Genesis. Genesis 6 and 15. I'm tripping. I think it's print on my part. I was so used to Sabbath service in Minnesota that's the last spots that we left off in Ezekiel. We are in Genesis chapter 6, verse 15. My fault for the misadvertising on I know it's on the banner and on the top of the class. We are in Genesis. We are in Genesis chapter 6, verse 15.
So lucky, one of y'all got an apocrypha, extra apocrypha?
We do.
Of course, you see her back.
I was gonna say Genesis ain't gonna be in there though.
I just want to have it, sir.
All right, we'll settle up with that later.
I'll let you.
You can settle up with that later. So we are in Genesis chapter 6, verse 15. Whenever you're ready. You gonna use your phone?
I didn't have the space.
Until they even look up a website. Yeah, you don't need to ask. If you go to this website. We are getting a larger print Tanakh. Just ain't come in yet. Good.
So like, sir, I think I have one. I think I have one in my closet.
Okay.
Large person, I'll look tonight.
I bet. Yeah, well, that would certainly help. Because it's good to have multiple. But we definitely can't train somebody to get better eyesight. So the best we can do is just get a larger print. Now again, we always have Lashawan Kodash classes for anybody that might be struggling with the Hebrew. We got Lashawan Kodash classes every Friday. You got Minnesota with Priest and Officer 5000 Maccabia. You got Philly, Priest and Officer 5000 Marah. You got headquarters, Priest and Officer 5000 Hazahab. It's like if I went out of rank there. But we got classes all over the place. We got some of the brothers like Yahweh Stop. They got a thing going on. I know Captain Ash was doing English to Hebrew to Spanish, last one for Dash classes. So if you're multilingual like that, get it in. And I know we got brothers that might speak Creole or French or German. I don't care what foreign language you might speak. If you can add that to the repertoire, let me say you might as well throw it in. Good to go?
Just being clear. Yeah, I know.
Ahara.
I think you're looking at that wrong. Maybe a shaw.
So this is it.
So that's a sh.
A shar. Tashaha.
You skipped one character.
Da Ashar. Da Asha.
Get back into this real quick. Let's see if I can look that up.
31, 32, 33. Da Asha. Da Ashar.
No, that would have been a ha at the end.
Da Aisha. Da Aisha. Da Aisha. Da Aisha.
Because a lot of times, like that H, the I will fall off. So it'd almost be like a breath after that. So Aisha.
Da Aisha.
All right, so this should be better. So I've got the correlating verse here. At least the number of the English don't match the same way they'll do in the King James. You can at least go that up if that'd be better.
I don't know where I lit him here.
Verse 15. That's only two every. Aisha.
Da Aisha. Ikaha.
That's a th. This would be a th.
Ikatha.
No, a th.
Ik.
There's no th.
I. Ara. I'm a.
That's a thug. Yeah.
So the huh.
Essentially, yeah. And then just again, in a lot of the cases with that ha at the end of it, that vowel sound drops off. So it's gonna be a th. So now a th, a th.
The
Everything cool?
It's lucky, sir.
the. That's a shut.
I might as well rewrite this shit.
Shalasha.
Close. Shalash.
Shalash. Salash.
That good?
Ma'awa. Ma'awacha. Ma'awa. What Ma'awana. Ma'awatha.
Close. Ma'awath.
Ma'wah.
A lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times, that ending, it's just going to be the consonantal sound of it. So a lot of times that's going to drop off. So like the last one that we had is shalash. Instead of shalasha, it's just going to be shalash. When we get more into, again, and this is another benefit of the Lashawan Kodash classes, because we got like these connectors to let you know when it stands alone and when you got to pronounce it together. So when you pronounce these together, that vowel kind of sound drops off. And it's just a consonantal expression. So Kodash, not Quadasha, Kodash, because those are connected. Those are connected. Those stand alone. So La Sha Wan instead of La Sha Wan Na. Normally at the end of every word, that vowel sound will drop off. Now again, Hebrew is a consonantal language. What they call vowels is just that how would I say it? For lack of a better term or expression, just filling in the gap, filling in the void. But a lot of times at the end of the word, not every time, but again, this is going to come with practice. You're going to see that it drops off.
Amana. Amaha.
So in that case, it like, especially with that H too, it's gonna be like a soft ha sound. So it's almost gonna be like adding a breath to it at the end. So ama,
Ama.
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 So if it was just the A and the M and they were disconnected, it'd be ama. With that H on there, ama. So you'd still recognize it. It's like a silent H. H's don't get too much, that ain't that vocal anyway. But in that sense, kind of a silent H. Ama. So it's like a breath at the end of it.
So Arada.
Selective. Good.
I do have a question. I hope I'm in the same
You're in 15,
of.
Genesis chapter 6.
Oh, sorry. Like, I don't know where y'all
So now keeping, how would I say it? You know, like lines of paper, and you're using grade school, elementary school, learning how to write, and some of those letters, like that G, would drop down below the line. It's something similar with these, because it's not on that same plane as the rest of them. Whereas normally when you see that character die, that is on the same plane. So now when it falls below that line,
That's ka.
yep,
A rothka.
there's no th.
A rocka.
Yep. And in this case, it would just be a rock.
A rock. Dang. These are the connectors right here.
No, that's where this gets messed up, because like that's all that Yiddish shit. So now bastardizing our language, like if you can speak German, you can damn near speak Yiddish, because that it's the same people, it's that same culture, it's that same connection right there between them. So ignore the dots, ignore the lines, ignore the little zigzags, and all the little characters that they try to put in there as best you can. I know it's hard to ignore it since it's always right there in everything that we read with the Assyrian, but that has no bearing on how the Hebrews spoke. That's just that's their best understanding of trying to make sense of the shit. So we had a rock.
Oh. A rock. You said a rock.
A rock.
A ka.
That was a th. Best way to try to remember is that th's got that little kick at the end of it. The cut doesn't. It's just straight leg on both sides and connected. The h has that gap.
Hatha. Hatha. Hatha.
Closest. So in this case, it would be hathabah.
Hatha.
Hathabah.
The.
This one got that kick. This one straight leg.
Kamasai.
Yeah, you almost had it's a ma at the end. So at the end, you see certain ones at the end of the word, they end up looking different than if they were in the middle of the word or some shit. So now it's an M at the end. So I'm gonna try to pronounce it with that.
Yama.
Close. Kamashayam. Anytime you see that ya and the ma together, it's always going to be yam. I've never seen any instance where it's yama I'm sure it does happen, but that's always like that. Normally when they're combined, it's always going to be a yom.
Kamasham.
Kamashayom.
Kamashayam. Amasha. Ama. Ama.
Hey, man.
Ama. Raka. Rakaba. Rakaba. Rakaba.
No, that was hella close. That was real hella close. Rakaba.
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 Washala. 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 Washalasa. Washalayasa.
You in the neighborhood. Washalai. Washalai Shalom.
Washalayasha.
Washalai Shalom. Washalai Shalom.
Washalashayam.
The Hebrew language is fun. It's interactive. It's a good time. It gets a little crazy too when you're sitting there trying to pronounce, like getting used to it and then trying to pronounce it all the way through. Like it's a trip.
So Washalaya come.
Shashalash Shalom. Shash. So like we had that one word up here. So shalash.
That's this one.
Yeah. So this one up here is one shalash there. It's that same root word here. So wa shalash and then yom. Wa shalash yom.
Washalashiyam. Washalashiyam. Amaha.
Amma.
Amah.
Amma.
Amah. Quara. 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 Quaramaka.
Close. That's a ha. So try it again.
Quaramaka. Or Quaramaka. Quaramaka.
Essentially, Quawamatha. Quawamatha.
Quaramaka.
Yeah, if you're just smooth it out, Quawamatha. That's the end of that verse. Clap it up for the brother. I'll kill off the rest of the 6. So our verse 16, Genesis chapter 6, verse 16. Tazahar. Thaisha. Lathabah. Wa. It's like Wa'al. Ama. Kalana, Malama Ayla, Wapathak, Hathaba, Patazada, Tashayon, Thakathion, Shanion, Washalashion, Thaisha, verse 17, Waanya, Hananya, Mabya'a, Hamabuwa, Mayum, Al, Ha'arakdaza, Lashakat, Ko, Bashar, Bashar, Bawa, Rawak, Kayayum, Mathakat, Washamayum, Ko, Ashar, Ba'araktaza, Yaguai, verse 18, Wahakwamathia, Ath, Barayathia, Athak, Athak, Waba'at, Oh, Hathaba, Atha, Wabaniyak, Washathak, Wanashia, Banyak, Athak, verse 19, Wamako, Hakya, Mako, Bashar, Shaniam, Mako, Thabathia, Oh, Hathaba, sorry, so Oh, Hathaba, Atha, who's that 19, right?
Okay.
Jump on. Wamako, Hakia, there we go. Mako, Bashar, Shaniam, Mako, Thabia, Oh, Hathaba, Lahakia, Athak, Zakar, Unakwaba, Yahaiwa, verse 20, Haiwa. Lamayan Nahawa. Lama. It's like a Laman. Habahama. Lamayana. Mako. Ramash. Hadama. Lamayanahwa. Shamyon. Mako. Yabawa. Aliyak. Lahachayawath. Verse 21. Watha. Kwak. Kwak. Lad. It's like it. Kwak. Lak. Mako. Get up. Hey, take a walk. It's phone ringing. Maybe I'm hearing shit. Verse 21. Wamatha, it's like Watha, Kwak, Lak, Mako, Mako, Ashar, Yaakov, Laisapak, Aliyak, Yahweh, it's like Wahaya, Lak, Walaham, La Kala. That's the end of these first 7 verses before we bring the next priest up. That's the men of Israel, Almighty.
You're not going to read them in English?
Oh, yeah. Totally skipping that. Good catch. The what? All right, so in English, verse 6, starting at 15. You get it.
Oh, Slack. This is the book of Genesis.
It ain't gonna be this. You have to read out of that or this book. But it's like the English translation and these don't match. Yeah.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 6 and verse 15. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits.
So last week we were going over when the Most High was approaching Noah and about to give him the instructions on how to build the ark for the doom to come. Keep going.
And the height of it 30 cubits. Verse 16, a window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above. And the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower, second, and third stories thou shalt make it. Verse 17, and behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh wherein is the breath of life, from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. Verse 18, but with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy sons wives with thee. Verse 19, and of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. Verse 20.
So now real quick, just a recap on what the brother was reading, the different lengths, heights, dimensions, where he's going to put the windows, the entrances. It's all, these are ancient measures. And people, like a lot of historians, have tried to debunk the story of the flood and Noah and the ark in itself just because of the measurements, when that's kind of inconsequential to what's actually going on here. The measurements are good enough. That's more than enough to house the animals that he needs to keep alive and preserve. You said 19, keep going.
I was at 20.
20, all right, good.
Verse 20, and of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive.
Now, 2 of every sort, like we don't have. There's millions of kinds of bugs and birds and 4-legged beasts and fish. The ones that we're focusing on in this, the 2 of every kind. I think it's gonna talk about in a little bit. It's going to give that broad overview about what the 2 and what the other animals were, but you didn't have all the admixtures that you got today. Like back then, there were no what's the stupid name of a dog? Schnauzers or whatever the hell, Wiener Schnitzels, some dumb shit like that. We didn't have that back then. There were no Doberman Pinschers or Dalmatians. Garfield the cat.
Mixed breed.
Yeah, it wasn't all that mixed breeding like that. Because a lot that all that shit happened because of domestication. And natural, and just in the wild, things stuck with their own. It was a lot simpler back then. So there was definitely more than enough room to bring everything by its base kind to continue living. And again, we're talking about when this flood happened, that happened where mankind was populated. It didn't happen like some brother called into Cross the Line Radio and asked, what happened to the penguins? Like why do we still got penguins here? Well, penguins can swim. Like there's whales can swim. They didn't need to be protected from the flood. But they were also way on the other side of the world. They weren't where no man was living. So that landmass didn't have to get destroyed because it wasn't polluted by mankind. This area needed to get destroyed because that's where man was living, building Babylon and all the different cities and wandering around doing all types of wickedness. So this area had to be destroyed. So he's collecting the things that were in that area. He didn't need to save a blue whale. They can swim. It's a flood. They're in the water. They can swim. That's fine. He didn't need to save a polar bear because they way off over there anyway. Seals, they're okay. He had to save the things that were in that neck of the woods to preserve that life over there. It's like, you had a question?
Not me, but my brother, he's watching the class. He asked.
What's the brother name?
His name is Brian.
Brian?
Brian.
Hey, Shalom, Brian.
Yeah. He said, what about mythic creatures? Like
Give me an example. Dragons?
Dragons and fairies and all that other stuff.
All right, so that stuff don't exist. That stuff don't exist. Now, I know the Bible mentions dragons, but we got to look at the context of what that dragon is. So a dragon in the biblical context was just a big damn lizard. It didn't breathe fire. It didn't fly. It wasn't Game of Thrones. It was a big damn lizard, like Komodo dragons, for example. That would like, I mean, it's still, even though it's a modern term, they still got it in the name just because of its ferocity and size and aggression. It's an apex predator in this neck of the woods. Unicorns, it's mentioned in the Bible, but if you look at the biblical definition of a unicorn, where's the Zondervan? Zondervan over here. You got one?
It's right there.
Grab for you.
Yeah, if you could about yourself. So like let's look up dragon. It's like Kawa, if you could look up dragon, you look up unicorn. And it's gonna give a very just practical definition of it. It ain't nothing mythical. My sigil is a unicorn. Now we use a goat in this stance, but it could have been a rhino. It could have been what they call an auric. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but an auric. Because of like the way that it stood like afar off from you to look at it, it looked like it just had one horn. But by the definition, and we're gonna read in a second. You got dragon?
Not dragon.
I get it.
Dragon, an imaginary creature of great size and frightening aspect. A number of pages in KJV. Well, it just says it's imaginary. It's fake.
Yeah. So I mean, like it's something fantastical that they use for science fiction today. But if you were to look at what they would consider like what they label it off of, it was a big damn lizard. That's all that was. You got unicorn?
Kind of.
See if fairies in there, just for shits and giggles. See if fairies in there.
Zondervan and Webster.
In the Zondervan. Good.
Unicorn. Fabulous animal. Horned, strong, wild, difficult to catch. May be wild ox.
So what they were calling, like, it didn't have a specific designation what a unicorn was. It was like a descriptive term in a sense. But yeah, mythical creatures, this isn't that. The Bible is not make believe.
Right.
Is fairy in there?
No.
I should hope not.
I don't see it, sir.
All right, no sweat. Does that answer his question? You got anything else, Brian?
He didn't text me anything else.
All right, no sweat. Keep going.
It's Ryan.
Ryan. My fault. Ryan.
And
You got any other questions? Feel free to ask.
okay.
Yeah, this ain't Fantasy Island. This ain't the island of Dr. Moreau. It's just a lot of things that we see today are just man-made, trying to wrap their head around it. Good.
He did have another question.
All right.
So what if a person that's not Hispanic or Native American was to come into class?
First off, they're not going to get in the class. They can watch online all they want. We can't stop anybody from watching online, but they're never going to step foot in the building. Is Ryan of that persuasion?
No, he's his daddy is Hispanic, but his mom is white.
All right, so I ain't trying to make it a personal with the man, but if it is on that level, my mom white too. She can't come to the Midwest Fire Weekend. She can't come to the Passover. I love my mother. Love your mom. If you got heathen siblings that you're tight with, you ain't got to break it off like that. Love your family. Be there for your family. Support your family. But the truth comes first. And the truth is going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. They're going to end up leaving you before you leave them. That's normally how that shit goes. I've never seen it reversed. Like, I've seen families fight this thing out and still be together. So, like, that is completely possible. And we used to talk about how the so-called white man is the goddamn devil every day. And stinking Africans. And crooked, criminalistic East Indians, scamming asses. Your name ain't Steve, dude. I don't know if anybody's got one of them spam calls. Some dude with a deep Middle Eastern accent talking about his name is Mark. Nah, good.
I had somebody call me. He was like, "My name is David."
Yep, nope.
Nope.
You know good and damn well your name is not David. Good.
So, like, did you want fairy in the Webster dictionary? What is that? Webster? It's kind of like
Nah.
that. Oh, it's
Nah,
kinda
yeah,
like
we
that.
don't. You said the Zonovan don't
It's not don't, but it's kind of matching. It's matching.
mention what?
Match the definition of the dragon.
It's just a fantastical,
It's
just
a fantasy
myth.
folklore. Yeah,
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, not that big a deal. But yeah, good.
But I think I know what he was trying to ask because he's asked this before.
All right, so what you getting at?
Last time when I was on the game with him, he was asking like, what if they didn't know that they were white, but they still came to the school and tried to go to the classes and everything?
They'd never be allowed to come into the building. Now, if they didn't know that they're gonna find out. You're gonna find out. Like the spirit is gonna reveal itself, Ryan. Like if they didn't know that they were white in the beginning, they're gonna find out if they're white or not at the end of the day. Now, any heathen nation is more than welcome and encouraged and should be depositing all their goddamn money into these accounts. Keep what you need to live. I don't want to see you on the street because we still need you to work so that you can still bring money in here. You can donate food and clothing to the events. Pay your tithes. Donate to all the schools you can. We're not tyrants. We don't want to see you out on the street. I mean, well, that might be a matter of opinion for any individual. But that's not the purpose of this. Everybody's gonna end up serving the Most High in Christ and under the UPK. Everybody's gonna end up having to serve Israel. That's just how the ranking order is gonna go.
Right. That's right.
So if they wanna show that act of fealty, like we've seen many times with the boot kisses, that's fine. Maybe the Lord will show you some mercy. Maybe He'll still punish you for George Washington. That's on the Most High, and that also depends on your character, what you're trying to bring to the table. They can serve. They're going to serve. It's better for them to get in the habit of it now and getting the rest of their people acclimated to the process. But they would not be allowed in the school, at the events, at the functions. Now we've had rent out some areas that had heathens on the staff. So I mean they were legally allowed in there. I mean they had to be because they had to serve the food and all that, and take the chairs and set up the stages and things like that. That's a different capacity. They're not sitting there eating the lamb with us. They're not sitting there dipping in with the unleavened bread with us. They're not sitting there drinking the wine with us. They're not going to get oil poured on their head like us. But they can serve. And if they don't know, they will find out who they are.
Right. That's right.
Is that it for Ryan?
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
Verse 21, and take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee. And
read
for
that part
them.
again. Read that part again.
And thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee.
Wait, what verse you at?
21.
So let me get that.
Genesis chapter 6 and verse 21.
Come on.
And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them.
All right, so yeah, just gathering provisions, enough for the family and for all the creeping things, all the birds and this, that, and the third. And like, I mean, realistically, if you look at it, they provide an ecosystem for themselves too. So even if the creeping things are eating off the droppings of the other animals, I mean, it doesn't need to get into that type of detail. And again, a lot of people have problems about how unscientific or how ambiguous some of the scriptures might seem when they're just looking for something to nitpick. Oh, we got commanded to build a big ass boat, bring in a bunch of animals, keep them alive while everything else gets destroyed. It's not that far-fetched of a concept because we do have the capabilities to do it today. They just don't have the countenance or the conscience to even do it like that. Did Ryan have anything else? Go on. I saw your hand up for a minute. Did Ryan have anything else?
I'm Slocky. No, I was gonna say what he's reading is a lot different from what I got on here. So I'm guessing he's reading from the Bible itself.
Are you reading from? Yeah. So that English side of the Tanakh, the book or even online, it doesn't match. That's why again we take the diligence to study the Hebrew and study the English. Like this isn't the only, like King James version. That's not the only Bible that has been scrutinized to see if it matches up with the Hebrew. But for the closest English translation from the Hebrew and the Greek and Aramaic and all them languages that they compiled into the Bible is the King James. So that side, it's just not going to match.
Okay.
All right, so now that was the end of the 7 verses in Hebrew and in English. Men of Israel and Madian. Clap it up for the brother. So now, it's like real quick. So now, next priest, present our registry.
Ayar Ban Yashikar Yashral.
Ban Yashal.
Ban Yashal.
Ayar Ban Yashikar Ban Yashal. Yeah, just us up there. Yep. Is that what talking about now? All right, right on time. If you could pour the man a drink. Yeah, she's gonna have to too. We salute each other. Face front. I got shot.
Shalom Yahabashim Shabrakta.
La Yashal. La.
La Yashal.
All right, Yashabi, be seated. Did you want to do this on the phone or can you read
I'm gonna go out for this.
it? Yeah, that's what text, yeah. So from there, off the phone.
That's my phone.
Kala, did you get that?
Yeah.
Cash App.
You bring the whole story directly.
Okay.
Go out. I am the wall. What's the website?
So. So kabad.org. I don't know why this version is so different. Back in 1 second. Just keep on going next until you get to 6. And then you're starting at verse 22, and then it's going to switch over to
Start from the top and go down. Or
yeah,
do I start at
6.
6?
Yeah, chapter 6. Chapter 6. No, scroll back up. Keep hitting next until you get to chapter 6. Chapter 5. Boom. And now you're starting at verse 22, so now you can find the numbers here that correlate with the numbers there. It's going to be all the way at the bottom. 22. You're starting at verse 22.
Do I say, wait, say that out loud?
Yeah, but you're at verse 1. And then, yeah, you let them know Genesis chapter 6, 22.
All right, Genesis chapter 6, verse 22. Zawataza. The. It's a water, right? Yep. Why, is it Taza or I? Why you die?
Sloppy, sir. Would y'all like some water?
I'm good.
Why you Taza? Why you?
Establish that's an I.
It's an I at the end.
The one that looks like that there's a. It's an I.
That's an I though, right?
So you get the water, but you got the I. So that's good.
Shut.
So try to link it all together.
Why, yeah. Daisha.
You kind of had it backwards. It is close. But yeah, I shut. This is one of the few instances where you're going to pronounce that whole character. That one's going to stand alone at the end. So normally, as we've seen above, it would have been like, well, yeah, Aish. But in this case, it does stand alone. So, well, yeah, Aisha.
Why Yaisha? Naka.
Close. Knock.
Knock.
Yeah, so that in this case, that end part just drop off. And again, we got a brother in school out there in Philly, Officer Knock. That's Noah in Hebrew.
Come. And there's Ka. La.
Close. There's 2 Ks. There's almost a clan, but not quite.
There's 2 Ks.
Yep.
What? What are we saying that? Or does this?
No, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you would have said it just like that.
Okay.
Except for the
Kakala?
close call.
Kakal. Oh, this sound like Nahuatl, Aztec language. Asha, Ashada,
That's a rock.
Ashara,
So a shar.
Ashar, and that's Sa, right? No, it's Taza. Tazawa, Tazawa, Ha,
Close. This will be a tazawa.
Tazawa. Allah. It's a duh. Bro. It's not enough.
So it's kind of hard to pick up.
We sing this one. This one. It's like I'm down here.
You got tazawa.
So I'm right here. What? Is it a what?
Yeah. You just missed that little character.
After.
Yep.
After. Wow.
Yep.
After. Allah. Allaha. Allahaya. Allahayata.
Get everything else right.
Allahayo. On this one, right?
Next line.
This
Yep.
one. Ha. Allahaya. Wa. What can I read?
No, there's no Y in there. Allahaya. You got that part getting so far.
Allahaya.
Just need that last one.
Allahaya Sha.
It's not this one, I'll tell you.
It's not that one.
It looks like that one.
Is it Ta?
No. That's T. That's S. So it's not these. What's the other one?
This one?
No, that's T. It's not that one. It's not that one. There's another one that looks similar to it, though. Some ma. At the end. So normally, in the middle of the word, or even the beginning, It would be this from at the end of the word.
Okay, yeah, that's right there. So we get is Allah ha ma.
Sounds like you're skipping one.
Yeah, Alahayim.
Close. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
And this is, in English, you would read this as Elohim,
Elohim.
which would be, anybody know what Elohim means? Yeah.
No.
Go ahead.
Would it be command?
No. Go ahead.
I know it, I looked it up before. It could be singular or plural.
Yeah.
I know
It's
that.
plural.
It's plural.
What's it plural for?
But God, I mean the Most High, but it's not.
There's not more than one God.
But I know it's not. That's why it's gonna be used. I heard this debate for being used. Sometimes it's plural, sometimes singular. I forgot. I seen it a while ago. I seen this topic because I already discussing it.
So Alahayim, in English, you read that as Elohim. That is gods. That is plural for gods. But we know, in the truth, we know that gods is not talking about the Most High. So this is powers or messengers or judges or angels, depending on the context that it's used in.
Okay.
Keep going.
Mikawa.
Close. I see where you're getting with that. Just again, you gotta try to look at the line. Like everything normally kind of meets up in a straight line, but like you see how the L, how it goes above the rest of the characters. And in this case, that tail drops below.
So what does that mean?
So now the wa stays in line with everything. This drops below, that's a ka. This drops below, that's a na.
What is
That's a ka. This is just at the end of the word when it's a ka. So in this case, it's going to be the na at the end of the word.
Sukana.
What do we I would say, shit. When I asked you if you could run the brother back over to his house, what did you say?
Kan. Ka.
What would you say when I asked you to drop the brother back off?
Kan.
What's that first word?
Kan.
That's in Hebrew. Well, I guess in the Syrian, but that's what it would look like. So Khan.
Unless Taza.
No, that's the I.
Aisha. Huh?
Close. And in this case, just that I would drop off at the end of the ha. So it'd just be Aisha. So now you would still kind of like, you would breathe that H into it. You ain't gonna pronounce it. Yeah. So instead of Aisha, like if it was just the I and the Sha, Aisha. Instead of Aisha. You can still include it, but it's not going to be Aisha. Right, so now we're going to move over to chapter 7. Clap it up for the brother. Give the next one a shot. I got you covered. All right, so we're going to be going from, not yet, yeah. So we're going to be going from Genesis chapter 7, verses 1 through 6 in the Hebrew. Well, Ya'amal, Yahweh, Lana. It's like a Lanak. Ba'a, Atha, Wakal, Bayathak, All, Hathabah, Kaya, Athak, Layathia. It's like a Ra'ayathia, Tazariak, Lapanya, Barwa, Hazah, verse 2. Makal, Bahama, Masahawara, Thaquak, Lakai, Shabaiha, Shabaika, Ayash, La Shathwa, Waman, Habahama, Ashar, La'a, Tahara, Hawa, Shamyon, Ayash, Washatwa, verse 3. Gam, Maiwak, Hashamyon, Shabaiha, Shabayak, Shabaika, Zakar, Wanakoba, Lafiwat, Zarai, Ab, Panya, Kal, Harataza, verse 4. Kaya, Layamayan, Layamayan, Iwad, Wabaiha, it's like it, Shabaiha, Anapya, Mamataya, Ab, Harataza, Rabayam, Yawam, Warabayam, Liyalaha, Wamakyat, Wamakyat, Slack, Wamakyathia, Slack, Wamakyathia, Ah, Ko, Hayakoram, Ashar, Aishayathia, Ma'ab, Panya, Hadam, verse 5. Wayaisha, Nak, Kakal, Ashar, Tazwahawa, Yahweh, verse 6. Wanak, Ban, Shashah, Mawat, Shana, Wahamabuwal, Hayat, Mayam, Al, Haratazah. So that's those 7 in the Hebrew. We're going to transition back to the English. So you're going to start off at Genesis chapter 6, verse 22, and then go from 7, 1 through 6. It's like, hand me that one. Probably should.
Chapter 6. And what?
22.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 22. Thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him. So did he.
And I guess the heavy part about Noah is everybody thought he was crazy. Everybody thought he was crazy. He building a big damn boat. Ain't no rain. He was landlocked. He wasn't about to float that down the river. He was building in the middle of not a dock, but like he had all the support structures that he had to build up just to make this big damn thing.
Salakia, what was in this location also very dry, like it hasn't been rained for a long time.
Yeah, like they were landlocked. I'm sure they had like rivers and like some streams and shit around it, but yeah, where he was, it wouldn't have looked natural for him to be sitting there building a big ass boat like that. Maybe a canoe. Right. Maybe if he was building a canoe, nobody probably would have looked at him crazy. He was building a big damn boat, gathering all these animals to him. Now he had the orders from the Most High because he heard about the judgment that was coming to man. He just didn't question it. As crazy as it seems, as crazy as we can be, we just don't question. We follow the orders and we keep it moving forward. Keep going. It's like walk. Oh, see it? Mm-hmm. I was just making sure. All right, keep going.
Chapter 7. And the Lord said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark.
Not everybody. It just like the Most High is very selective on who he deals with. So he told Noah with his family come to the ark. Good.
For thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation.
So the work that he had seen Noah doing in his time, in his day, he found to be good. He found to be just. He was a righteous brother. And that's why Noah got that consideration. Keep going.
Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by 7.
So now this is where we get into that mythology of Christianity, because the tale that I grew up with was there was 2 of every kind animal. 2 of every kind. Now that's all I remember. I never remember hearing about 7 of anything. That wasn't in there. Keep going.
The male and female, the male and his female, and of the beast that are not clean by 2. The male and his female.
So I mean, unclean animals aren't evil. Like people got such a disdain about pigs. We just don't eat pigs. We just don't touch them like that. It's like if I had my own land, if I had a farm, I'm gonna have some hogs on there to eat up all the scraps, to eat up all the carcasses from other animals that may die off or something like that might die of themselves. Or if I got a heathen around me to sell it to, I might do that too. But it's like these animals are just unlawful to eat. They're not evil. There's nothing evil about a parrot. You don't eat parrot. You don't deep fry a parrot. That's all we got. We got fowl of the air that we can eat. Keep going.
And
Fowls.
Fowls also of the air by 7. The male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. For yet 7 days I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days, 40 nights.
So you just letting them know, like in a week, it's going down for a little over a month. Keep going. Stone 4. You can read it from the top.
For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made, I will destroy from off the face of the earth.
So now again, if you look at the term earth, look up in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Look up earth in the Zondervan. It's gonna give you contextual references. The earth could mean the entire planet. The earth could just mean like we stay on our earth right now. We're not standing on the world, like the entire world. We're not encompassing the entire world, but we own the earth. And we say like, if you were to Google map me, like I'm on the earth, but I'm over here on the earth. There's a specific spot that I'm at. Got a big ass definition to it. I was saying in the Merriam-Webster.
Oh,
My
Webster.
fault. Okay. In the Merriam-Webster. Look it up in the Zondervan too. See what they say. I want to see the Merriam.
Earth.
Yeah. Whoever get it first, good.
Okay, so definition of earth in the Webster. One, soil, dirt. Two, land, ground. The planet on which we live, the planet on which we live.
All right, so it gave a couple different references to it.
Yeah.
Again, the soil, the land, the ground, the land in which we live.
Yeah.
So depending on how you're using it. So now, did you see it in the Zondervan? Cool. You get the Zondervan. Good. Take a lap.
All right, there's one. Earth. A word with variety of meanings as material substance. That's it.
All right, so it's just that simple. Like people will conflate it. Good.
The word right after that say territory, like the area you in.
All right, yeah.
What you saying?
Yeah.
Say territory.
It doesn't. Again, people are trying to nitpick at the Bible. It said, "Flood waters are no." What did it say? And I will destroy from off the face of the earth. They thinking that that this flood surrounded the whole globe and everything on earth died. When he was very clear in the beginning, I believe, of 6. Yeah, so it's 6 and 1, for example. If you could start there real quick, 6 and 1.
And it came up to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them.
This is why the Most High came to destroy everything. Keep going.
Verse 2.
Yep.
That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose.
Keep going.
And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with men, for that he also is flesh. Yet his day shall be in 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days also after.
This is what we become. This is why he was destroying everything. But it was where these men were. We weren't all over the face of the earth at this point. And even after he had scattered Babylon, that wasn't too. Actually, where does it say that to? Where he. Oh, that comes on later. All right, we'll get to that part later then. But it was just focusing on that territory where men were committing their acts of wickedness. Not every animal got killed, but mankind got destroyed, except for Noah and his men. All right, keep going.
We're on 5, right?
Yeah.
Verse 5. And Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him.
Just did what he was told to do. Keep going.
And Noah saw 600 years old, when the flood of waters was upon the earth.
See, he got to live a hell of a lot longer than the rest of us got to.
Can we?
No, your 7 are done there. So we're gonna switch over to the next priest. So men of Israel are mighty. All right, next priest, present our registry.
Kalab ben Gad ben Sorry. Kalab ben Gad ben Yasharallah.
Kalab, Bangad, Banyashal.
And then mighty. So I can skip this part too.
Yahaba Shimi al Shabrakathum.
Yahweh Shem Shabbat. All right, come up, you can exit. Get his man a drink. Get his man a drink.
Shalom, Yahba Shem Shabbat.
Shalom Yahba Shalom Yahba Shimi al Shabrakathum. Yasharallah.
Shabi, be seated. So now the next 7 in the Hebrew, going from chapter 7, verse 7 to 13.
Bear with me.
What's that?
I said bear with me.
No, that's fine.
is that? What Yaba? What Yaba?
So especially anytime you see that I character, that pretty much always gets pronounced in conjunction with it.
Okay.
So like even like when we get to the paleo and we start going over these, if you were to see it connected, like
That's when it goes from being a consonant to like
to kind of skipping that vowel sound
right.
and just pronouncing the consonant. So normally it's never gonna be, I've never seen like the I connected to it like that before either. So normally that does always stand alone. So anytime you see that character and like the I next to it, it's always gonna be because that's gonna be pronounced like da. If that was an I, it'd be da I instead of just like da. Like it's not gonna be like a long I sound. You still pronounce both.
Okay. Well, you have a knock, knock. Wow. Yeah.
Wondering what the flip y'all was eating on over there. It's good.
Yeah, I normally get that for to keep my sugar elevated. Waba, nah, no, wa, ba, nah. Oh, yeah. What's this last one? Waba, nah, yo, what?
Just smooth it out, it'd be wabanyawa.
Babanyawa. It's like,
You got it.
wa, asha, asha, da, asha, dawa, asha, dawa,
Close by shop one.
ashafwa. Wana, sha, wanasha, shaya,
Wanashia.
wanasha. Ba, na, yeah. Bana, you what? Yeah. That's not correct. Batam,
Afwa.
wa. Oh, okay, okay. Afwa. All. All. The I just seen it. It's like the WK. No. Hold on. I know I got that wrong. So oh. Hakaba.
Now you have it right the first time.
Oh, sorry. I lost where I was. So it's right here, right?
Close. Hathabah.
Hathabah.
Yeah, normally that H is gonna drop off. You're just gonna kind of just kind of feather it in. Just gonna breathe that H in. Hathabah.
Hathabah. No. Mapa. Is that pa? Mapana. Mapana ya.
All that's right. See if you can just smooth it out. Proper pronunciation.
Mapana ya. Mapanya.
There you go. No, you got it.
Mapanya. Maya.
Yep.
Hama. Hamaba. Hamaba wall.
Yep.
Hamaba wall.
There you go. You want to keep going?
Of course.
Nah, my nigga.
Says to give up after trying. So that's again ma. Oh, that one dropped down. So would that be no?
No, that's right. Oh, you're on the next one. All right. So just announce where you are. My fault. I thought you were still trying to reread that other one.
No. 8.
What? Where?
Genesis 7 and 8.
There you go.
Oh, damn it.
So yeah, you're right. That does drop down.
So would that be?
So now that it's got that short top, and then it drops down.
So mana.
Yep.
Mana. So would that, because it's a dash right there.
So the dash, the dash don't do anything. It's just like a hyphen, just a break between the words.
Okay.
Like this would have been kind of like one word or one expression. So you pronounce that first part, and then there's like a pause there, and then that would be the rest of it. So if you were to look this up, you would kind of look it all up together, just because they how would I say it? Because they are connected, but it does have that break.
Okay. So
They're connected as a word, as a thought, but it's got that break in the pronunciation.
So it should be mana.
Yep.
Okay. Mana.
So just instead of like pronouncing the whole thing all at once, it would be mana, pause, and then the rest.
Bahan. Ma'a.
Close. Habahama.
Habahama. Hata. Is that ta?
Yep.
Hata. Hawa. Hata Hawa. Hata Hawa. Ra.
Yeah. I'm not trying to say it all together.
Hata Hawa. It's Hataha wa Ra.
Close.
So like Hataha wa Ra.
Close.
Ra.
Hatahara.
Wa Hatahara.
So like Levi in Hebrew, Lawia.
Right. Okay.
So you don't get that full wa value in Lawia. It's the end would drop off, but you still get that Y pronunciation connected into it. So in a word like this, hatahara.
Hatahara. Wama. Wamana. Abaha. Mana. No, wait.
You just said it a second ago.
Habahana. No. Habana'a. Haba'a. Habahama.
Yep.
Ashara.
Close. The
Ashar.
Yep.
So like Ashar.
And normally just at the end, the I would drop off and it would just be the consonantal value of it.
Okay. I think you said that like 3 times.
Yeah, listen, I'll say it 3 more if we need to. I got you.
Okay. Hey, is that not twice?
Mhm.
Ayana.
Yeah, ayanana.
Ayanana. Tahara.
Yep.
Tahara.
Yep.
So again, trying not to make noise.
That's all right.
Wamana. That's a new one. Where's that one? Is it this one or
No.
so?
Normally, so we've seen that the pa before was in the previous verse. So the pa in itself stays within the lines. When it's at the end of the word, it does fall below.
So this one right here. So that's still pa, but that's under I.
No, it's not.
See? This one right here. You got the 2 right here.
So now you're looking at the tazah, right?
Right. Tazah and I. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, so you got
And so, damn it. Right here. Okay. Her I wa. Her I wa.
Yep.
Her I wa. Waka. Is that waka?
man, that's a cut, that's a Y, and that's a cut. That's it. Let's see the rest of it.
What's that? Waka. Waka. So, Ashar. Is that Ramasha? Ramash.
Yep.
Ramash. And so we're back to I love.
I.
Is that cut? No, that's not it. So it had to be duh. Right?
Yep.
Hadama.
So in this case, it'd be a hadama.
Hadama.
Now, hey, clap it up for the brother. Just for time's sake, I'll take over the rest of the 5 verses.
Gotcha.
For verse 9, Shanayam, Shanayam, Bawa, Oh, Knock, Oh, Amba, or it's like Hataba, as a call. Wanakoba, Kashaw, Tazawa, Alahayim, Ak, Knock. Verse 10. Wayahaya, Lashabait, Hayamayam, Wamiya, Hamabuwa, Haiwa, Al, Harataza. Verse 11. Bashna, Shasha, Mawa, Shana, Lachayaya, Nak, Bakudash, it's lucky, Bakudash, Hashanya, Bashabai, I saw, Yawan, Lachidash, Bayawan, Hazar, Nabukwaiwa, called, Mayanawat, Thahuan, Rabat, Wa Rabat, Washamayam, Napathakwa, verse 12, Wayahaya, Hagishan, Harataza, Arabayam, Yawan, Arabayam, Layla, verse 13, Baitazam, Hayawan, Hazar, Ba'a, Nak, Washam, Wakan, Wayapa, Banya, Nak, Washat, Nak, Washalashat, Nashia, Banyawa, Atham, Al, Hathabah. So that's 7 in Hebrew. Get back to the English. Read these read these 7 verses in English real quick.
Start at 6 or 7?
6 to 13.
The
my
book-
fault. 7 to 13.
The concept. So, read 7.
Yep, 7 to 7.
The book of Genesis, chapter 7, verse 7. And Noah went in, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, into the ark, because of the waters of the flood, of clean beasts, and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls, and everything that creepeth upon the earth. There went in two unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month,
the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened.
This is just talking about the rain and the waters that came down, kind of giving a recap on what we had already read as far as Noah gathering the animals, getting onto the ark safe with his family. Yeah, I guess there's one interesting thing about this one. It talks about, I think later on, it talks about the springs of the deep, unless this is that part, but all the fountains of the great deep were broken up. So they had known of springs and fountains and deep bodies of water shooting out more water, and they're finding that out. You know, that's more of a modern discovery, knowing about like what's in the bottom of the oceans and all that. Thousands of years ago, we knew about this stuff. Where now they would need, you know, submersible machines to figure this out. The Most High had given us records of this without having to go to such extreme measures by spending like what them dudes spend like $1 billion or something on that sub to go down to the Titanic. Some crazy shit like that. Unnecessary. Just to get crushed.
Right.
And now they're doing the same thing with those tourist spacecrafts to shoot up in outer space and come back down. So what's the opposite of a tourist soda pop can at the bottom of the ocean? A tourist soda pop can in outer space. They're just trying to go from, you know, different extreme measures to the bottom of the ocean to outer space. Just to kick it, just to kind of have fun, just because they can afford it, just so they can get themselves killed and set a new world record. I don't know what the ambition is, but the Most High had given Noah and our people this knowledge beforehand without having to, like them extreme sports. I wouldn't mind going skydiving. I can live without it. If that chute don't open up, I mean that's what, like a couple $1,000 just thrown out the window, literally. Like I can live without bungee jumping. It looks fun. I wouldn't mind it. I don't need to. I don't need to see what's at the bottom of the ocean. I trust that whatever's at the bottom of the ocean is still there. I don't need to see no new life. I'm cool with that. If they want to present themselves, then they can crawl on land and come kick it. But that it's, again, people just taking advantage of the luxury that they have to discover the same thing that we already got records of. But they just want to see it for themselves. They want to see UFOs so damn bad. Like when they come to see that, like that's not going to be a whole happy day type scenario. They're going to see him though. So they're going to get their wish answered. Good.
And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the selfsame day entered Noah, and Shem, and Ham, and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, into the ark.
And then after that is how we ended up repopulating the earth. So the story, it's not that big a deal. A lot of people try to throw some mysticism on it. It's just we messed up as a human race. Well, I should say they messed up as a human race. Our people were found dignified, saved, to recreate human life. And to redirect them where we're supposed to go. Now we're seeing the decline of man again once more. Now the Most High said that he wasn't going to destroy it with a flood again. There's going to be fire from the skies. And that's what we're on the cusp of seeing. World War III is about to pop off. And the tools that the Most High is going to use this time around is going to be different. It's going to be a hell of a bloodier of a mess. And again, these are prophecies in the Bible that the world is just gonna have to come to terms with, and it's for the rest of it. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. This world is sick and disgusting, and it needs to be destroyed, and that this kingdom needs to fall. And if this is the means and measures in which we got to go about doing it, protesting didn't work, sit-ins didn't work, boycotts didn't work. At any point that they want to really push that button, they can do it. All they got to do is send drones over, drop some bombs. If once they get tired of having to cover up for what's the word, like their public outlook, But once they get over that, like they don't really care how the public looks at them because they keep on doing it behind the scenes anyway, and it keeps on getting exposed and exploited anyway. So once they just decide, like, dude, I don't give a shit how the world looks at us. We're gonna do what we want to do anyway. We're just gonna kill everybody off, take over the world like we want to, out in the open. They're just gonna start doing shit out in the open, without concern about what anybody thinks about it. So with that, just for time consideration, because we got some other things to do, we're just gonna salute out Mina Vizra, Amadi. We're gonna salute the Torah though before we go. So pick this up. Your end is gonna go up. Yeah. No. So first, just face me.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barak Yah.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barak Yah. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barak Yah.
Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shai Barak Yah.
Or it's like it would have been Barak Yah.
Barak Yah.
How about Shem Yahweh Shai Barak? Yeah.
I turn pass it back.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabrak. Yeah.
Turn around.
That way.
Sit down.
I'm in a visual courtesy salute. Mighty Shabbat. Mighty Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabrak.
Got it in the top. Dismissed.